Hello and welcome, seekers of well-being. Today, let's embark on a short journey that really could revolutionize the way that you think about stress and perhaps the way that you share how you think about stress with your clients. It's time to really explore the role that breath can play and why it can be a game changer when it comes to enhancing our stress resilience and our overall kind of mental well-being. So in this video, we're going to unpack the how of effective stress resilience. Right? Notice I didn't say stress management, big difference. And I'm going to introduce you to a 3-step process that I use and that I teach all my clients as a strategy to help us kind of transform our stress. Stress, right? We all experience it, but we don't have to suffer it. There's a quote, I think it's attributed to the Dalai Lama, that says, pain is inevitable, but suffering is not. It's the same way with stress, right? Stress is inevitable. Life is stressful. But the suffering that is attached to it really comes back to how we perceive stress. We're going to talk a little bit today about, how stress has been painted in this kind of negative light, mainly through the media, often what happens, but how really the research behind stress says something completely different. And the role that our perception and our mindset and our interpretation of stress really impacts the way that we actually biologically respond to it. And so what I want to kind of pose to you is that you have your very own stress busting tool, right, with you all the time. And there are 3 steps in which we can start to look at using our breath that helps us kind of change how we actually respond to stress, right? I really like acronyms, so this is the A.C.O framework. Awareness, control, optimization. So picture this, right? You're in the midst of a stressful situation. We've all been there. Heart's racing, thoughts are racing, mind is a little bit scattered. Now imagine being able to just to tap into your breath, right? Guide it intentionally and watch as your stress response starts to kind of shift, right? And move out of that heightened state of arousal to a state that's a little bit more balanced and a little bit more calm, right? Breath awareness really is the first step. It's the foundation in which stress relief is built. It's the bridge that really connects your mind or your awareness to your body. And it enables you to navigate stress with a little bit more grace. It's a little bit of a dance, right? So your breath, your body are kind of constantly giving you signals about your current state. Are you tired? Are you excited? Are you relaxed? Are you enthusiastic? Are you stressed? Are you anxious, right? But most people are unaware of this line of communication, and so they miss the signals. And so the first key here is really noticing, how am I breathing, right? You will always, 100% of the time, find that you're breathing differently when you feel stressed to when you feel calm, right? That noticing of the change of my breath really is my little, oh wait, there is something I can do. If I remain unconscious, I'm going to drive further into that stress response. It gets harder and harder to manage, right? And so having awareness of breath really is the first kind of step in being able to successfully navigate and really influence the way that you handle stress as it comes up in your life, right? Step number 2, control, right? This is where we can start to grab the dial. As you delve deeper into the understanding and the use of breath, you start to uncover this incredible power of breath control. Right? It's not just about inhaling and exhaling. It's about the pace, the depth, the rhythm, the timing, whether we hold, where we hold. All of these things start to influence the way that your nervous system responds. And by consciously altering your breath pattern, you can induce a state of calm, right? Triggering the relaxation response, the parasympathetic nervous system, right? It's like our body's natural chill mode. It's like having a remote control, right? For the stress response. We can dial it up, but we can also dial it back down. And here's where I think it gets really interesting, right? How often are you stressed about something that hasn't even happened yet, right? I'm stressed about the conversation I have to have later. I'm stressed about the presentation I have to do next week. I'm stressed about someone coming to visit, right? What if you could turn that off and not suffer from the stress, right? When you don't need to, when it's not even happening. It also happens in the past. We think of, well, I should have said that, or I wish that happened. I'm stressed and I'm worried about it. And so herein again lies this opportunity to grab a hold of our breathing, control it, and change how my body is interpreting all of the information, internal and external. Step number 3, optimization. right? If you've ever heard the phrase, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, right? Well, this is really true for stress. Stress is not a villain, it's a constant, and it can be your ally if you know how to wield it, right? Breath optimization is really kind of where we start to change, our resilience, our capacity, our tolerance, and our response to stress. It allows us, right, to actually start to embrace a stress is enhancing mindset rather than a stress is debilitating mindset. And there has been huge amounts of research done on that simple tweak, right? If I see stress as debilitating, stress is bad, stress kills, chronic stress is bad, all of those things are going to influence the way my body responds. If I can shift to stress is enhancing, right? Stress is a catalyst for growth. Stress is a stepping stone, right? It's not just a mental shift. It actually changes how your body responds, right? We see changes in hormones. We see changes in the biochemistry of the body, proteins that are being folded, right? It goes all the way down to the kind of the deepest levels of function within the body. But it's not so simple as just telling yourself, stress is good, right? Like, this is where breathing becomes really, really instrumental, is if we can shift our state, right? This kind of snapshot of the body, then we can start to shift our story, right? It's very hard to shift the story without shifting the state. You can tell yourself stress is good all you like, but if your body is in this kind of response that doesn't say stress is good, that's the overriding information that you're going to be perceiving, right? So when we allow ourselves to embrace stress, right, as a challenge rather than a threat, it really, opens up this doorway to growth. And the breath is the tool that you can grab a hold of. If you think stress is bad, it is, right? And if you think stress is good, it is. I know that sounds super simple, and it is. But we see this time and time again where our perception of something that's happening kind of overrides what is actually happening. If I tell myself something's going to be bad, I look for evidence, right? My nervous system looks for evidence to support the fact that this is bad. The same can be said, right? If I'm looking for the positives or the constructive elements or what can I learn, right? And so coming back to awareness, control, optimization. First, I have to notice, how does my breathing change when I'm stressed, right? If I can start to pick up on that, I'm going to have this little temperature gauge that says, oh, this environment, this situation, this conversation, this task, this project, whatever it might be, seems to be creating a shift in my internal state, right? There's the awareness. Control. Do I want to dial down? Maybe I even want to dial up, right? Can I start to sit in the driver's seat and influence, right, my state? And then thirdly, really is this optimization piece. What story can I tell, right? Now that I've shifted my state, can I shift my mindset from stress is bad, or this is signaling that something bad is going to happen, into this means it's important, right? This means I'm ready. This means I want it to go well. And I start to embrace the challenge of stress rather than try and run away from it and think it means something bad is going to happen, right? That's not the case. If you just listen to the media, right? Stress is bad, stress kills. It turns out it's true if you ascribe to that kind of mindset, right? And so the role that we have here is really to shift out of what we've been told about stress and start to understand the newer research. So as a practitioner, right, you hold a really powerful tool for your client's well-being. As an individual, you always hold the tool for your own well-being. And I think breathwork can really be a central piece when we're looking at our relationship with stress, right? By starting to explore breath awareness, mastering breath control, and embracing this role of breath optimization, we can start to arm ourselves with tools to reshape our stress response, right? Our perception of it, and therefore, right, the positive or negative health impacts that can come with stress. So, if you're ready to kind of step into the world of how breathing can be used as a tool to optimize our relationship with stress, right? The journey starts with your own breath, right? A breath that really can pull you back into the present moment, to notice what's going on in your body, notice what story you're telling, right? Always comes back to awareness, right? I'd love you to keep your eyes on the horizon, on what's in front of us when we look at the emerging world of breathwork. And if you are curious, right, and you want to learn more, or you'd like to discuss how to integrate breathwork into your practice as an individual or as a professional, I'd love to chat, right? Feel free to reach out. You'll find more details in the comments section below. Be sure to subscribe. And if you've got any topics you would like to hear about, please leave them a comment below.